All right, so we've got it mostly painted. Once this all dries, I will go ahead and probably run a coat of regular spray paint over this to make it look better. I just wanted to get the 415 on. So yeah, there's that. We do have upgraded 3/16 frame stiffeners that we burned out. We mocked it up with some cardboard and then burned it out on the plasma table. I do have cav fab 4-link on the way, so I will be getting rid of the short links here, and I will be putting the 4-link on. The 4-link will sit where the transmission brace is back there. It'll replace that, and the new links will all 4 links will come off of that for the top and the bottom of the axle. I will be putting a locker in the front, and also filling in these holes here. If anybody has any ideas on that, let me know, because I don't really know what I'm going to do with that yet. Outside of that, I'll probably get a different brake booster that's smaller, and then also I'll have to figure out something with this throttle cable, because it is likely not going to work with the 1uz. The mounts are in though. Everything, the motor sits in there just fine. I will have to do some modification to the coolant line for the heater core, but we'll get to that in another video. Really, I'm just painting it. I cleaned it all up with the 415 recommended degreaser and then paint prep. Then I applied the 415. Again, I'll spray paint it, probably gloss black, or I'll hit it with some light sandpaper to scuff up the 415, and then add another layer of paint to make it look good in places that look thick or thin. I really just wanted the rust prevention to eliminate the need for further cancer work down the line. So this is the 1uz that will be going in the car. You can see that everything is on there. I am going to attempt to utilize this fan pump here. This actually, and the SC and LS 400 runs the fan for the radiator. I'm going to try and convert that to the power steering. We'll be using the K20 or Honda K series coils for it. I'll be using a Fuel Tech FT550, and then with that we only need the driver's side crank or cam signal, and then also the crank signal. The crank signal has a 2uz wheel, so instead of having a 12-to-1 wheel that comes with the 1uz, it is a 36 by 2, I believe. So that'll make running each coil and fuel injector much easier with Fuel Tech. So there's that. Let's see, what else? This is a 2nd gen non-VVTi motor with the 1st gen rods and pistons. So what that means is we can make a lot more power. We'll likely not see over 600 horsepower with this setup due to the transmission being stock. So there is that. I will be getting a set of 850cc injectors for it. And then we do have, for the transmission, we do have a large cooler. I did get a better cooler for the motor as well. And then, so the way that this works is the 1uz does actually bolt right up to the AW4. The AW4 is essentially the same body as a Toyota transmission. So it is very similar to an A340 or A341. They do have the same outside body. They do have some differences. But the way that it works is you get the 1uz A340 or 341, you pull off the bell housing off of the 1uz transmission, then you pull off the front case there, front plate, and also the front planetary. So when you do that, you switch them out in the AW4. You put the new planetary in from the A340 out of the 1uz into the AW4, and then bolt on the bell housing, and bam, everything will work as it should. You will use the 1uz torque converter, and then you'll also use the 1uz flywheel. So that should be interesting to see how that works. So some of the other things that I'll be doing is down the road, making more frame stiffeners for the outside of the unibody for the front. I think the inner frame stiffeners are good for now. We'll be putting on the mid and rear frame stiffeners from Cav Fab, and then getting everything running. I think next steps are finishing the bay, paint, and then lay the other coat down. Once that is done, I will be able to finish the wiring. So I will be using mostly the stock Jeep harness. There is an engine bay harness, and then there's also a motor harness. So I'll be utilizing that. And then for the transmission, the fuel tech will be controlling the transmission. There is a module where the harness comes through the dash, the firewall. I'll be splicing into that harness for the fuel tech to control the transmission. And then at some point I'm going to add paddle shifters so I can sequentially shift the transmission. Lots to do. Unfortunately, I'm just now starting the vlog, I guess, or the build recording. I don't know what you want to call it, but I will do a lot more of it as I continue on. So I look forward to making great progress.